What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome to Automotive Life. My name is Lucky. Unfortunately, I'm not in the studio. I'm in my new living room, but I wanted to get you a really quick video of currently what's going on with Fisker. It is truly official. They just filed for bankruptcy. Now, a lot of you guys know I'm not a huge fan of EVs, but did that mean that I wanted Fisker to fail? No. I actually put $3,000 of my own money buying their stock because I really believed that they were on a trajectory to do something special. I love the designs of the Fisker Ocean. A lot of the other cars they had planned were pretty cool, but unfortunately, lightning struck twice. The thing that basically collapsed the first company is now collapsing the second company. If you guys are new to this, the Fisker Karma came out quite a few years ago, and it had almost the exact same problems. It's like they rushed production. The touchscreens weren't working, there was a lot of glitches, a lot of electrical and mechanical problems, and unfortunately, when you have a lot of bad reviews and a lot of issues, that leads to poor sales. Poor sales lead to bankruptcy. And wouldn't you know, that's exactly what happened to the Fisker Ocean. It came out with all these reviews. People thought it was a beautiful car, really great tech, all this good stuff. But guess what happened? As people started getting their hands on it, they started to see the exact same thing unfold. Multiple electrical issues, things weren't working, touchscreens were locking up, all kinds of bad things. And unfortunately, Marquise Brownlee made a really crazy video saying that this was the worst car he's ever tested, which absolutely rang true with a lot of automotive journalists. And so with that, along with poor sales, pretty much crushed the company. Now, I figured the second time around, they would have learned from their mistakes and actually fixed quite a few things. Now, if you guys are not new to the car business, you see all these cars kind of driving around in these like weird checkered camo plaid vehicles. I'll put a picture right here what I'm talking about. A lot of these manufacturers plan these cars out 2, 3, 4 years ahead of time, and they actually build the cars and they test them for months, if not years, to make sure that they get rid of all the fatal flaws. And even after they do that and they build production models, they take these cars and they give them either taxi drivers or somebody else, and they drive across the United States to make sure there's none of these issues and some of these problems that they could fix before the customers start having these things. But the unfortunate thing with a lot of these small EV manufacturers, they don't have the big dollar amount that it takes to do that, or the previous tech from all their other years of building to put into these vehicles. So they basically build something and throw it out there to the world, hoping that there will be no issues and some sort of software update will kind of cure everything. Now, this is one thing I have to admit that Tesla was really good at. When the first generation of Teslas came out, the touchscreen was really not that glitchy. Everything worked good. The build quality was obviously garbage, but at the end of the day, everything still functioned. And that meant that people still bought these cars. And that's what's leading us to the Fisker Ocean. Nothing worked. They kept saying the software updates would actually fix it. I have 2 friends that bought that exact same car and they're still waiting for their software update. And now they don't know what to do because they filed for bankruptcy. They were gonna send some tech literally to fly into Vegas to program all these guys' cars. I don't think that's happening anymore. So now what are you gonna do if you're left with a Fisker Ocean? My advice, I would just sell it. You're gonna take a loss. We talked about this probably about a month ago that my same friend took his car in and got a $25,000 offer from CarMax right after he paid $65,000 for a Fisker Ocean. So I would just take the 25 grand and run. I know it's gonna be a hit, but I think this is a very bad omen when it comes to EV startups. A lot of these companies are hurting for money now because EV sales are going down. You have people like Rivian, Lucid Air, a bunch of these other ones that are really not moving cars. They're dropping prices. They're getting creative with leases just to push out their units. Now that Fisker basically died, why are these investors and hedge funds and other people that are going to put their money into something that they see basically falling apart? So if investors are not putting more money into some of these newer companies, we need this to keep that technology growing. Because remember, all EVs across the board lose money. There's only 2 EV manufacturers in the world that actually show a profit. That is Tesla and BYD. And the 2 things they have in common is they both manufacture a majority of their parts in-house. Fisker, unfortunately, subbed their building out to a third-party company, and a lot of these other manufacturers do the exact same thing. So just to kind of show you exactly what the trend is going, this is where we're heading. We need more companies out there that will basically develop their own tech, build in-house, and do all the things they need to do to keep the costs low. And as they build to scale, which they all keep saying they're gonna do, like Rivian, eventually they'll outrun their negative equity and will start profiting on vehicles. But unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna happen because China is so far ahead of the curve. I believe that even with this 100% tariff that Biden put out there on all these Chinese EVs, it is still cheaper to buy an EV at 20 or whatever is it, the Pelican's $10,000, so $20,000 here to the States is still half the price of a Tesla Model 3. So a lot of these cars are gonna be hitting the shores. I know that they're actually building plants in Mexico as we speak. And I know there's a lot of trade laws. If they're built in Mexico and they come across the border, there is no tariff. So I wanna see how that plays out. Also, back in the day, I don't know if you guys knew this, Ford, GM, and a lot of these other manufacturers went over to China to build, but they had to make an arrangement where they hired Chinese workers. They did things to help strengthen their economy, and they partnered up with Chinese companies to help build some of the products. And that was a good thing. It basically helped both countries. I think America's going about it wrong. I think they should say, okay, we'll let you build your cars over here, but you gotta have plants here, you gotta hire Americans, your parts gotta come through here. And even though that will bring the cost of the parts up, instead of the government making 100% of free import tax, we can actually hire people, give them jobs, and build the cars here in the United States. Now, I know it's a little bit controversial, and a lot of people don't want to hear that, but at the end of the day, we need more jobs. We need to build things. One of the best things about America was we built everything. We were the best at everything. Now, we don't build shit. Everything is sent out to China, Turkey, Pakistan, India, even Mexico. Mexico, I think, is the largest manufacturer of, I think, majority of Japanese vehicles now. That was some weird stat that I saw. So pretty much everybody that's driving a Honda, Toyota, Nissan, whatever else, the majority of those things were probably built in Mexico, which is pretty hilarious. But, you know, either way, we need to bring more jobs to America so this way we can build it. And every time we build, we do these things, we get more technology, which will hopefully bring the cost of EVs further down. Now, to wrap this up, I want to give you a quick update of what I'm seeing in the EV market, because now that this happened, a lot of people are afraid. I saw people dumping Lucid Airs at auction, crazy amounts. I saw same thing with Rivians. The Rivian trucks, I remember you couldn't touch them for under 100 grand. I've seen some a little bit more miles for around $50,000, $45,000 at the auction, which is crazy. So we're starting to see those prices go down quite a bit. I think another reason why a lot of these EVs are basically going up for sale and nobody is buying them is because of the insurance. The insurance is so high on some of these EVs. Tesla came out with their own insurance policy to help save people money. I know the Rivians, I think we were looking at getting one, and the quote I got was like $600 a month for full coverage, where at the time when I had my Audi R8, it was $238. So a $200,000 car compared to a $75,000 truck, it was almost triple the amount, because they knew that if you even bumped that car, it would total it out. But that is not even the scariest part. The ripple effect this is gonna have on the resale market is gonna be tragic. I think a lot of people are gonna see that these new, smaller manufacturers that are making these EVs are more susceptible to failure. So I think a lot more people are gonna stay away from them, like the Lucid Airs, the Rivians, and stuff like that. They'll probably transfer to something like GM, Ford, Porsche, whatever else, whoever else is making hybrids, but a major OEM company. Now, I talked about this probably about a year ago, that eventually majority of the actual OEMs will make better EVs compared to some of these other companies, but we still need these small startup companies because they don't have all the red tape. They can make really cool things and change directions. I like a lot of the things that Rivian's doing. I like the new models that they have coming out, if they ever do come out, but unfortunately it's left a lot of doubt and worries in the EV market. But I'd love to know your opinion of what you think is currently going on in the market. What are your thoughts of Fisker Ocean basically failing, and what do you think of Fisker actually filing for bankruptcy? Also, I would love to know if you actually own a Fisker Ocean. Let me know what you're gonna do with the car. What are some of your options? What are you thinking of? If you guys just wanna donate it to my channel, we can drive it into a brick wall and blow it up. I'll do that too as well for the views. But I'd love to know exactly what you're thinking of doing with your Fisker Karma. Or not your Fisker Karma, excuse me, your Fisker Ocean. Hell, even your Fisker Karma. I know Hoovy just bought one not too long ago, and it's absolutely junk, and I see 2 or 3 of these things here driving around Vegas. I can't believe they're actually still running. But any of these cars that you're getting right now, I would stay away from. Just, if you have them, try to get rid of them is my advice. But like I said, chime in the comment section, let me know. I'd like to guys, thank you so much for watching. We are currently, like I said, moving. This is my new place. We have a studio over here that we're gonna be building. It's about 6,000 square feet. We're gonna have lights. We're gonna be working on cars. I'm gonna change up the whole channel. No more of me sitting on my fat ass doing talking head reviews. We're gonna be walking around, moving around, and doing stuff to hopefully entertain and actually bring up my quality channel, because we broke 500,000 subs, and most of the time I was sitting here talking to the camera with no special effects. I need to do better. I need to make better quality content for you guys, and that is my goal for the rest of this year. But anyways, I wanna thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next video.